Going to invite some friends really quickly. Alrighty. Hey guys. Let people join on in for a second. Joining on in. I feel like the screen is a little tilted. Perfect. See, I like that. Alrighty, so I'm going over solutions for a dangerous environment. Here's the booklet on that, right there. It's based on the works of L. Ron Hubbard down there. Boom. Perfect. Alrighty, so let's go over to the first thing. It's not going to be a very long live at all. It's going to be straight to the point. So, Scientology, improving life in a troubled world, right? So it's founded and developed by L. Ron Hubbard. Scientology is an applied religious philosophy which offers an exact route through which anyone can regain the truth and simplicity of his spiritual self. Scientology consists of specific axioms that define the underlying causes and principles of existence in a vast area of observations and the humanities, a philosophic body that literally applies to the entirety of life. Hey, Paul. Thanks for joining. So, I'm talking about this right here, this first chapter, boom, of the Solutions for a Dangerous Environment. All right, cool. It's based on the works of L. Ron Hubbard. So, in this booklet, the editors have augmented the data with a short introduction, practical exercises, and examples of successful application. So this booklet is based off of this big book called Scientology Handbook. The Scientology Handbook, right? It's pretty massive. It's about this big, right? And thank you for being here, Paul. Thank you for your theta. But understand that the book is about this big. This is just one small portion of the book that literally changed my life. This is just one of the cool little datums that you can use in your life. So let's go over the dangerous environment. The dangerous environment. Many people are not only convinced that the environment is dangerous, but that it is steadily growing more so. For many, it's more of a challenge than they feel up to. Hey, Henrik. Thanks for joining. You can watch from the beginning if you just joined, when it's posted on Facebook. The fact of the matter is, however, that the environment is made to appear much more dangerous than it actually is. A great number of people are professional dangerous environment makers. This includes professions which require a dangerous environment for their existence, such as the politician, the policeman, the newspaperman, the undertaker, and others. These people sell a dangerous environment. That is their mainstay. They feel that if they did not sell people on the idea the environment is dangerous, they would promptly go broke. So it is in their interest to make the environment far more dangerous than it is. The environment is dangerous enough. At one time, an idea was put forth that certain societies did not advance because the environment lacked sufficient challenge. So, there's that. And then it goes over more. I don't want to take from this book, right? This booklet right here, Solutions for a Dangerous Environment, I don't want to take from it. I want you to truly read it and go with it. It's only $5. It's free shipping on their website, volunteerministers.org. But I want you to actually read through this. I'm only going to take little sections out of it, out of the dangerous environment section here for a second. But I do want you to read it for yourself and really go over it and see how it can work for you. Let's see. We're going through it. It says right here, we've come to the conclusion that any individual, whether white, black, red, or yellow, if he has not been able to achieve his own destiny, must be in an environment that he finds overwhelming. And his methods of taking care of that environment must be inadequate to his survival. His existence is as apathetic or as unhappy as his environment seems to him to be overwhelming. Why then would people go out of their way to actually make the environment appear more dangerous than it already is? Then it goes on to the merchants of chaos. This is the main point, right? Facebook will jump in and out. I can't control that necessarily, but it will all come together if you watch it again when it's posted on Facebook. They do a really good job of making sure the video is still there. There's no gaps or delays. Perfect. Amazing. So basically, let me give you an example of that, because I don't want to just read from a book that you can read, right? I really don't want, I really don't want to just I don't really want to just keep reading the book to you, right? I will read some sections from it, but I want to actually have a discussion with you in regards to examples on this, right? How we can use it in our lives. As you can see, I'm wearing the hat for the volunteer ministers. I'm a volunteer minister myself. I do apply this all the time. Merchants of Chaos, that would be like a mainstream media outlet, right? It would be a mainstream media outlet. It would be, an outlet that is making things seem worse than it actually is, meaning that if there was a guy who was helping somebody along, like across the street, right, they would make it, that person, that reporter, that merchant of chaos would make that act of goodwill into something, worse than it actually is. So they'd say that the guy was pushing that person through the street. That would be pushing the person through the street against their will or whatever, right? And that's how you create chaos, because that person was just trying to do something nice, and then basically was trying to do something nice, and then now they're saying that he's doing something wrong. So it's creating chaos because now people go, oh my gosh, people are so bad, and then people end up having a chaotic life because they can't trust anybody around them. So we don't want that. We don't want that at all. So that's just one of my examples. Make your own example, and then, just make your own example. You'll like it. So an obvious example from this book, right here, it's going to say it. An obvious example can be seen in newspapers. There are no good news stories. Newspapermen shove the environment in people's faces and say, look, it's dangerous. Look, it's overwhelming. Look, it's threatening. They not only report the most threatening bits of news, but also sensationalize it, making it worse than it is. What more do you want as a proof of their intention? This is the merchants of chaos. He is paid to the degree that he can make the environment threatening. To yearn for good news is foolhardy, in a society where the merchants of chaos reign. Okay? So it's, again, in this book, Solutions for a Dangerous Environment, Merchants of Chaos right there. The Chaos Merchant has lots of troops among people with vested interests. And do not think it is an accident that the current justice system will take a dangerous criminal, throw him into a prison, make him more antisocial and more dangerous, and then release him upon the society. The more crime, the more police are needed. Ideas of this kind are found in the society to a marked degree. It isn't just the newspaper reporter or the politician. Individuals here and there also gauge upon this. So what I do is, like you, I go through Facebook. I go through Twitter. I go through many different social media platforms. Yeah, include the online data to this, because maybe they don't know about it. But, 1 second here. Yeah, cool. So basically, I don't want to make it too long, but I'm going to say that, you want to be the calming influence. See, so anything that tends to pacify or bring a calmed environment is resisted by the vested interest that backs a disturbed environment. So you posting good things about life, livingness, survival, people doing well, people of goodwill, helping people, you end up being their enemy, per se. You end up being the Merchants of Chaos's enemy. You end up being that person that they hadn't taken control over because you're not going to fall for their Merchants of Chaos agenda, right? So here's the data. To the degree Scientology progresses in an area, the environment becomes calmer and calmer. Not less adventurous, but calmer. In other words, the potential hostile, unreachable, untouchable threat in the environment reduces. Somebody who knows more about himself, others, and life, and who gets a better grip on situations has less trouble in his environment. Even though it may only be reduced slightly, it is reduced. Hi Lisa, hi Rose, hi Zach. Awesome. So even somebody who has heard very little of Scientology has less turmoil in his environment. An individual less threatened by the environment tends to resurge. He gets less apathetic. He thinks he can do more about life. He can reach outward a little further. Therefore, he can exert a calming influence upon his immediate environment. So, being calm is rewarding. It's a reward for you, and it's a reward for your friends and your family. You want to be that calming influence people look up to. You do communicate very, very well, people. You really do. You're my friends, and I like you guys, and you guys do a really good job. But we want to be the calming influence. If there's a datum that may be true, but also may have a viewpoint of creating chaos, you don't want to do that, right? Yes, truth is good, and if truth can calm somebody down, give them some good data, because they get a lot of the bad data already. You may not know that. Maybe you think that they don't watch TV because, maybe they don't watch TV. It doesn't mean they don't get the data, because they have so many different outlets that give us data on a daily basis. Like my phone, I'm using for live stream, but I have also my iPad, I have my computer, and they have automatic news updates that I get all the time. It's insane. But you have to understand, people do end up getting the information some way, right? And somehow, either through their friends, their family, or whatever. So your job and your hat, really, at this point, is to share positive things, right? Because the media is already freaking people out, right? So your job is to push happiness out there. Push ways that you're helping others or how others are being helped. Hi, Angelica. Hi, Charlie. But push ways that people are being helped. Don't push ways that people aren't. And you could post things about people getting killed and all this other stuff. You don't need to do that. The media is already doing it, and you don't need to push their agenda. Just push happy thoughts and happy things. Now there's this other point in this booklet, the Solutions for a Dangerous Environment. Pretty nice picture, actually. I kind of like it. Hey, Lily. But it's based on the works of L. Ron Hubbard. It's in this. There's a Ways to Lessen the Threat chapter. You can basically open this up. It's only $5, by the way, or this data is online as well. You can open this sucker up and just look at it and go, how can I lessen the threat? How can I help my friends lessen the threat? How can I lessen the threat? You look around and you go, people are looking for a less threatening environment, or at least for a way to better endure the environment they live in. Because they're already getting blasted with things that they don't want to hear, right? And, it's just too much chaos and not enough harmony. So, you have to see an individual's health level, sanity level, activity level, and ambition level are all monitored by his conception and concept of the dangerousness of the environment. There are real areas of danger in the environment, but there are also areas being made to seem more dangerous than they really are. So, there's a whole chapter that goes over find something that isn't being a threat, right? These are all little processes you can do on your own and with your friends or whatever, right? Don't read the newspaper. It's very straightforward, right? Don't read the newspaper. take a walk, handling a loss. There's different things where if it actually is, if you actually did lose somebody, or maybe you lost some item or whatever, and you're like, oh man, this sucks, or maybe you're losing out on a purpose in your life or whatever. That is an actual loss. That is something you can actually handle in here. It's really cool. They're all free techniques too. Arranging one's life, knocking off things that upset one. See, so you can go through this. I'm not going to do it over the live stream. That's not going to happen. But you can do that. Even reading it, you may... Yeah, I can't read it over here. No, I want you to read it for yourself and get the data. I was just going over this. It's really good. Yeah, definitely it's really good. I love it. I use this every single day. Confronts. There's a chapter on confronts. I love confronting. Confronting is my friend now. It's like amazing. Confronts. One can safely assume that there is always something about a situation that the person can confront, by which we mean easily face without flinching. So you have to, basically, when you read this chapter, you'll come out with an example kind of like mine, where, sorry if you heard me touch my microphone, but you have to really be able to confront your environment, right? Really be able to see what's actually there. Yes, you can dream up ways of people getting freaked out. Criminals robbing houses. I mean, there's so many different examples that the media gives you to not confront your environment, right? You're already confronting the bad stuff because you're listening to the news. You're watching people talk about bad situations that happened in their environment. But why not confront the good things that are happening? Why not confront the actual situation at hand? So you have to look at that for yourself and read this chapter here because you'll love it. It's great. It's very, very straightforward. It actually gives you some cool pictures, right, on how to not have attention on things, kind of things. Not being able to stress out about things, but be able to see it for what it is. I can see this book for what it is, right? You can see me for what I am by talking to you over this live and over this video. You can also see, do you look at a bill and not see it and not pay it? No, you have to confront it. You have to find out what the amount is and pay that bill, right? Or find out how to pay that bill or how to handle it. You don't just not confront the bill because you don't want to pay the bill or you don't feel like it's your problem, right? That's a whole nother situation. You'll find out in here. So the real world. I'm going to read this because I do believe that I think we need this data in our environment right now. The real world. The world simply must not be a better place, according to the chaos merchant. And so long as politicians move upward on scandal, the military establishment gets fatter on more war, and the media profits from the spread of bad news. There will continue to be those who thrive on chaos. But this is the created world, not the real world. Behind all this upset and disturbance, there exists a calmer environment. It is one in which man can live and feel better. A world where people do heroic deeds and neighbors help each other and people overcome vast odds to excel. The differences between a competent person and an incompetent person are demonstrated in his environment, surroundings. A person is either the effect of his environment or is able to have an effect upon his environment. The 19th century psychologist preached that man had to adjust to his environment, quote unquote. This false datum helped begin a racial degeneration. Pretty sad, huh? The truth is that man is as successful as he adjusts the environment to him. Being competent means the ability to control and operate the things in the environment and the environment itself. By recognizing the work of the chaos merchant, people can begin to better control their environments. So in order to be happy, basically, and to be calm, and to be responsible, and to be just be that influence that you want always. You have to understand this datum that I just read. And if you just came in and didn't read, if you didn't hear that, replay it when it's done and just play it over and over again. It's amazing. It's very calming. So there's also practical exercises after that chapter that you can do after reading that. And then, with any technique, you kind of there's such a thing as being kind of skeptical about it. I have a couple of people in my life that are a little skeptical about things, right? So probably you too, right? But there's results from the application of this data, so you don't have to really explain much, and also you can just read through them. There's a lot of cool success stories and testimonial kind of deals in the back here. And then there's also Mr. Hubbard. There's a chapter on Mr. Hubbard to give you a little understanding about him. He's a phenomenal man. Really do respect him a lot. There he is. I do honor everything that I just read and everything that I am doing to L. Ron Hubbard. There he is. Read more about him in the booklet. If you misunderstood anything in this in this live, let me know. But there's only like 4 words that it's clearing up in the glossary, so you can watch this over again and clear it up if you can see it. And then, so basically that's the chapter here. That's the whole entire subject here in this one $5 booklet. You can also get you can get this data also for free online at volunteerministers.org. Very great. Now, I do want to read the last quote in the back here, on the back of the booklet. I love it. It says, "The ideal scene in the society would be, probably, a safe environment wherein one could happily make his way through life." L. Ron Hubbard. So, this booklet, definitely recommend it. Definitely recommend it if you haven't read it. If you've read it, read it again. I did this course. I did the whole volunteer. Facebook's freaking out on me. But basically, I'm going to end it here and let you know that thank you so much for attending. Have any questions, do let me know. Definitely I'm happy that I did this for you and with you. And I'll do another live tomorrow about another topic. Find that on my profile. And love you guys a lot. You guys are great. Alrighty. Have a nice one.